Hey, what's up, y'all? It's me, Nate Almighty, and I'm back with a Raising Kanan Season 4 theory that I believe will 100% turn out to be a fact. And that theory is that Kanan killing Ronnie during the end of Season 3 symbolizes the beginning of the end of the old guard in Queens. And when I say the old guard, I'm talking about people like Ronnie. I'm talking about Rock, Lou, Marvin, right? I'm talking about Snaps and Pop. I'm talking about everyone who you seen in that picture that Kanan took with Ronnie in the club the night he met Snaps and Pop. Kanan killing Ronnie symbolizes the end of the old guard and the beginning of the young bloods coming in and taking over Queens, ultimately becoming the entire New York City. What I'm going to do in this theory, I'm going to break down what we can expect to happen to some of these people who we've seen in this picture, because some of these people the writers may not bring back into the story for obvious purposes, but some of these people will still be either killed off, or as a matter of fact, this video is going to be another banger. Like, share, comment, subscribe so you can get way more of these videos when they pop up on your timeline, and the algorithm gods will not forsake me. Without further ado, let's get to it. All right now, y'all. Especially if you're from the streets, you understand that there's always errors, okay? There's always errors where the young guys, they have their prominence. Some die, some go to jail, some come home, run it up again. Some go to jail, they come home washed up. And what is inevitable is that the young boys, the youngins, and the young sisses always end up gaining prominence again. It's a revolving door. That's how the street goes. If you from the streets, then of course you would have some of your own stories where there were the old heads who was prominent on the block, and for whatever reason, one way or another, right, they end up not being lit no more. And the youngins come up, a lot of them prove to be even more dangerous than the people who came before them. And they just pretty much stop giving a fuck about the old heads. And what I'm telling y'all is that Kanan killing Ronnie symbolizes this very fact. And I say that to say this. Yeah, I know how it goes in the streets. I know how it goes in the Power universe, right? In order for new characters like Ghost and Tommy to come into play, before we even get to see who Breeze really is, okay? And you guys know that the other day I made videos speculating that B-Rilla stands for Breeze is Rilla. B-Rilla would be Breeze's rap name. And that guy could be Breeze. Even if he is not, we have to understand that in order for Kanan and his new crew to come up, the old guard has to be dealt with. And I'm talking about whatever new characters they have for us that we have heard or not heard of. And I'm also talking about a lot of the guys that were presented to us in that picture and briefly explained to us by like Jukebox during that scene in the club where Kanan eventually ended up taking that picture with Snaps and Pop and Ronnie and all of the people who ran Queens at that time. Kanan killing Ronnie symbolizes the end of the old guard. And the new guard being Kanan, unique in a way, even though he kind of represents the old guard, but in a way, he's a part of the new guard. He's just a little bit more seasoned because he inherited the hood. And people like Rock and the Thomas family and people like Ronnie were in his way. And y'all know how it goes when a nigga is in your way in power. They have to be moved off the chessboard. But all of these people are going to be removed off the chessboard, and I'm going to explain to you guys some of the scenarios that will happen, because these niggas are going to drop like flies over the course of the next 2 seasons. Before we see Kanan and whoever will be Breeze come into play and really start to take over, before we see Young Ghost and Tommy really come into the story, these older people of the older guard will be removed off the checkerboard first. They will each face a series of unfortunate events. So, I'm going to shoot off the hit and I'm going to speculate a little bit, and you guys can let me know what y'all think in the comment section, all right? Now, first, when it comes to the Thomas family, we know that Rock will be forced out or killed based off of the fact that she's a rat, based off of the fact that the police are going to be on her head, based off of the fact that the mafia and Phil Russo are going to be on her head. The same thing applies to Marvin, who is the most recognizable of all of them in the face of the feds and the mafia, okay? Now, Lou, we all know that there's a 99.999% chance that D-Wiz brother will show. Even if he's not B-Rilla, he will show up, and when he shows up, that means Lou will die that same season or season after. We know that. That's 3 people of the old guard. They're going to be gone. Next, let's talk about Snaps and Pop. Now, you got Snaps and Pop, these 2 people, right? You got Pop, who's like the Varys of raising Kanan. She just got connections to all these people who gossip. She has all this information, right? She's somebody who knows a lot of people's secrets. She probably already knows that Defcon is gay and Kanan is not Defcon's son. She will probably be the person, right, to reveal that Defcon and Ronnie has something going on, because I'm not letting that go. As far as I'm concerned, Ronnie was not only gay, but he had OCD and he was autistic. It is what it is, right? But you have Snaps and Pop, these 2 currently right now very formidable people, right? These former bank robbers, and now they invest into the community, right? To the hood pharmacists, and they get their 401k off that, right? Like they said. You guys have to know that Rock will be responsible for killing at least one of them, if not both of them. And then here's another thing, right? If you from the hood, you understand that a lot of times, old heads in the hood, these street legends, but they still in the hood somehow. They not serving long jail sentences. They haven't been killed. You know that if you from the streets, a lot of times you find out that they are rats. So we have to keep in mind that Snaps and Pop could very well be informants on a high level, right? And then when it comes to the other guys, right, the early Tylers or any of those other guys who are in the picture with Kanan, Snaps, Pop, Ronnie during that scene in the club, even if they aren't reintroduced and really have dialogue, they will still end up being explained as there was this big Fed raid in which a lot of these other niggas got caught up. they will still be explained out of the story where it's like someone's gonna die being robbed by a Jack boy. Oh wait, Jack boys? Now we're talking about Kanan, Unique, potentially B-Rilla, right? One or two of those guys could kick the bucket like that, or will. Then you got a couple more of them who could be Stitches. Then of course, just like real life, some of those prominent drug dealers and kingpins, some of them will begin doing heroin, doing crack, right? Maybe one or two of them unalives themselves. But all in all, by the end of season 5 of Raising Kanan, these people will be removed off the chessboard. The old guard will officially be taken off the chessboard, and this has to happen first in order for Unique, if he is Breeze, to rise, in order for B-Rilla, if he is Breeze, to rise, in order for Kanan to have the power that he has. Because Kanan will be somewhat more formidable and successful in the streets before Young Tommy and Ghost even come into play. Like I said, Kanan killing Ronnie symbolized the end of the old guard and the beginning of the new era for Kanan's crew. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Can't teach that shit, nigga. Come on. That's God gifted. That's touched by an angel. That's on the dome, nigga.